Hey guys, welcome to AlleyOopDunks Season 3.
And this year, again, we're gonna look at the pricing that the fantasy has. And of course, you would see some players that they seem quite cheap, some others very expensive. Of course, we always have some big bets that we all expect them to do good. Or maybe they're very risky selections, and we have the must-haves. So with that, we're gonna start with the must-haves in your team. And I mean, it wouldn't be anyone else but Vezenkov, returned from the NBA, previous MVP, always pays. But keep in mind, he's the most expensive player in the league. And then next to him, Lesort. Again, this is just random. It's not in order, but we think all of these players, they are there, and potentially they are the ones that they can give you day in and out.
Yeah, let me add to this build. For example, you see Garlic Jones from Partizan and TJ Shorts from Paris Basketball, who are rookies in this Euroleague, but they have the quality to stand out in this Euroleague this year, because as Bill mentioned, you see some names, for example Tavares, Mirotic, this type of players, Moneke last year, so they are already Euroleague material players, but there are some let's say rookies who have the potential to stand out.
And since we talked about TJ Shorts and Carly Jones, the other guard we have here is Nunn, and we think it's actually quite good price. If you see in this list, Nunn is only 12.7, but the cheapest player on this list is a forward, Parker from Barca. He had a really good finish last year, and we think he can keep up, and probably he's one of the most influential players in the Barca team this year, that they have also a new coach. And also at the forward we have Hayes Davis, of course, Monek, as you mentioned, and Mirotic. And center position with Lesor, Tavares and Nibo in a new team, but already at the first games he's shown that he's now a really established big guy. Amazing last year with Maccabi, and now he's with Milano, trying to get them back into a Final Four.
He's a very his impact to the team, it's already shown in the first games in Supercoppa in Italy.
So we also have bets, some big bets. These players that you see in the list, they are quite different from each other. Some bets here are positive bets. For example, we can see Musa. He's a player that if he has a big season, potentially the doors of NBA open for him. So this is a bet that he's gonna do good. He's expensive, but potentially this valuation is fair. On the other hand, you have players like Seals that they are extremely talented, potentially one of the most complete players in the small forwards, that he can also cover multiple positions as shooting guard, but he's prone to injuries. So the bet there, if you get Seals, is not that he's not going to be good for you, but is that he may get injured, and getting injured actually lose you credits.
Same, not exactly the same with injuries, but more on the physical aspect. For example, stamina is for Boban Marjanovic. He is a huge bet, for his size, but he can give you a lot. But you don't know in how many minutes he'll be able to play. For example, will he play at the beginning 5 to 10 minutes or more? You never know what to expect and what you will get back. But definitely, remembering the last year he had with, I think, Crvena Zvezda in Euroleague years ago before going to the NBA, he was very, very impactful on the court, amazing, giving amazing numbers.
Yeah, actually, to add to this, I believe he's potentially a player that will easily get to 15 fantasy points or more with not many minutes required. But as you said, the question is is he going to be integrated in the team fast enough? Is he going to play enough minutes? And then I think a similar situation here in terms of getting into a new team will be also Pokusevski, right? He's also coming from the NBA, but he had limited time in Euroleague in the past, so he could potentially do quite good. The valuation doesn't seem to be wrong.
An obstacle
to be fair.
Yeah, it's not an obstacle, the price, if you want to choose Pokusevski. However, his lack of EuroLeague games experience, it might give this impact might have shown the beginning of the games. The first games he cannot be that good. Maybe like in 2 months he will be more effective on the court, giving more fantasy points.
Yeah, and then of course I think Napier, with last season, I think the 12.8 is expensive. However, is his chance to be a leader on Bayern. So again, that is really your preference when you wanna bet on a player. We've seen him at the good times; he can really give you more than 20 easily. So it would really depend, how the year goes for him. And I think a similar situation would be Francisco. He had a great year in Bayern, now in Zalgiris. He's not really replacing Keenan Evans, but he needs to cover some of these minutes that Evans was leading the team. So he's going to be a challenge for him. 9.5 seems to be okay, but again, quite of a question mark. But what about the last?
Let me add about Francisco. I agree with you, but I believe the only area that Francisco has to fill the shoes of Keenan Evans for Zalgiris is about scoring. He has to give score to the team. Francisco might need more time to get adjusted, of course, to the team and get to that level of Keenan Evans, because we have the last image, picture of Keenan Evans is that he has an amazing game. So just give some time to Francisco. But if he starts with scoring, is a good start for him with Zalgiris. Let me just add about, because we talked about Pokusevski earlier on, but there are two other guys who came from the NBA, and that's Jordan Nwora for Anadolu Efes and Cedi Osman for Panathinaikos from the San Antonio Spurs, his last team in the NBA. They have shown that's the difference. Jordan Nwora have shown better skills so far on the court, and his impact is more recognizable compared to Cedi Osman. However, Cedi Osman is less than 3 weeks with the team, I think, with Panathinaikos so far. So they're both quality players. They definitely have, for example, Jordan Nwora is replacing Will Clyburn, an already proven veteran EuroLeague. But both, they have the potential to give to their teams exactly what they need. So both options, you see the same credits, 13.1. As you see, they're good options for the small forward as a bet. Personally, I'm leaning towards Nwora just from the friendly games, what I've seen so far. So That's up to you who do you want to choose, of course. And then we have another guy, Jalen Ford from Maccabi. He played last year in Eurocup, and that's where you see the 12.5 credits because he had a good Eurocup season. He had some injuries, unfortunately. However, he was a key factor for Hapoel when he was playing there. So that's why you see this high um, value. It is a risky bet, but he can definitely impact the game. Sorry, in rebounding and also scoring from the paint.
And finally, Booker, he's playing in that team a long time, so he knows well also what is expected to him. Also now as almost a veteran, and is a player we think he can get on with scoring and with rebounding. He can cover the 4 and 5 position. So there is a chance that he actually gets many minutes and actually has some good returns. And the 10.2 credits seem to us quite okay for that player. But talking about valuations then, what about players that we think they are quite cheap, so they are on sale? And if I start with the center position, we have some really good things going on here. Lovren, just 10.8. I would say that if it wasn't for his injuries in the past, it's potentially a big what if. This player, amazing skills, very nice player. But okay, we think he's back healthy. Hopefully he stays like that. 10.8 seems to be very good price for him.
Yeah, he had a great season last season with Asvel in Euroleague.
Then Oturu, whoever watched him last year, I think already knows that he has shown signs of brilliance, of a new star coming. Now, this could be his really breakout season. Oturu is one of the players we really like. We'll see how it goes, but the 10.2 seems to be a great valuation. And even if we think about Poirier coming in the team, that he was one of the top players in Real last year, I don't think that stops Oturu from doing his job good. Potentially that actually helps him because he will have more time to take breath and be fresh on the court. And we finished the center position with 2 or maybe 3 players that they can have a big role in their teams, and they're priced less than 9 credits. So Hayes, 8.5 for Paris, is going to grab rebounds, is going to score some points. He has shown last year also very good moments with Zalgiris, if I'm not mistaken. And on the other hand, we have Bairutis on Zalgiris right now, that he should be taking more minutes and having a more active role this year. Of course, rebounds, points. We think Bairutis 8.2 is a really good offer. And then we have Sorkin that you can consider in forward as well. So 8.2 in this new Maccabi team, he will have a bigger role as well.
Yeah, that's true. Now, I think you gave a good assist now, because I want to mention another player for Maccabi, and that player costs 7 credits. It's Tamir Blatt. Last season, when Wade Baldwin was injured and out for the remaining of the playoffs for Maccabi, he had to step in and play with Lorenzo together filling the backcourt, and he did a great job. He did a great job. So this year, a new Maccabi team, and we see from the preseason games already that his main scoring attribute is from the 3-point line. So, for example, he doesn't shoot that many 2-point shots, but he takes 3-point shots. However, if you see the assist that he has in recent games, it's always close to double digit. He has 8, 9, 12 assists. So he's just doing what Coach Katash wants him to do on the court. Just find the right player to score the right moment. So for 7 credits is a great pickup for the guard position. Then I have to mention that he is one of the players that I have faith in this season the most, and that's Dimitrijevic from Olimpia Milano. I remember Dimitrijevic from Valencia. Then he went to Unix in Russia. So he was looking for the right moment just to do the step up and go to the Euroleague scene. And now this season is the best opportunity for Nenad to step up and show what he's capable of. He can impact the game in assist, rebounding, and scoring as well. So with 9.5 credits, I think is a great option to have. And the last guard is Thomas Walkup from Olympiacos with 10.2 credits. His role is different than last year. And what I mean by that, this year the Olympiacos team is so stacked with scoring players who can score. Evan Fournier, Sasha Vezenkov, of course. So I believe the Thomas Walkup role will be to give the ball to these guys, play defense, of course, but organizing the game, give the momentum, control the momentum, and just guide the team. So again, with a 10.2 credits to get a player who is already EuroLeague veteran, and with his experience and with the team he's playing for, I think is a good pickup for your team. And I think lastly we have Da Silva, right, from Bayern. So yes, return to Germany for Da Silva. You used to play for Alba Berlin, moved to Barcelona, now back to Germany for Bayern. His first games are very promising for Bayern. I think Coach Herbert will, use these first months to, let's say, give the right roles to the players. But Da Silva is one of the players who has to take the opportunity to, just come back to his form like he was playing for Alba Berlin. So I think he has the experience already. So to give to Bayern what Bayern needs him for rebounding and scoring from the paint.
And finally, another Olympiacos player, Petrusev. This is a pick for sale that I think we probably isolated into the first half of the season. Especially at the start now, we know Olympiacos is missing other top players like Milutinov. Paul maybe is not 100%. So Petrusev is going to step in and is going to do all the dirty job, rebounding. He can play defense and he can score. He will take a lot of minutes at the first weeks, we think, and the 8 credits is actually quite cheap opportunity there. And then let's see on the other side of things, who are the expensive ones? Let me start with Williams. And why we have a question mark there. So Williams, it is one of the most expensive players in the game. He is playing for one of the bottom teams in the league. and he's a rookie. However, he was the top rebounder of Eurocup last year, and actually we believe that he has the ability to do great things. So for us, we don't think he's expensive because there is a mismatch on his talent, but more about, as a rookie, is he able to get up to the 14.2? That is one of the top players. If you think you can actually have, is it Mirotic, I think, with 14.8, or
Yes,
players that they are established and you can take them every year and they will give you. So for that reason only, we have him on the expensive options. Question mark, because he may actually prove that he's wrong and he may actually do great. Is a big question mark, Williams. We're really looking forward to see what he can do.
Yeah, the potential is there definitely for Williams. Agree.
And then we have two players from the NBA, and these, I think they need to first prove their value and prove that they can be, with this valuation 13.8, 13.9 made to Johnson, they need to prove that they can be the protagonist in their teams. They haven't shown that in the first games, even that is in the cups or leagues or even friendlies. So we think is too high for us to to get them in our teams.
Yeah, it's an adjustment period for both of them, and they will definitely need time, as Bill mentioned. Then we have, then we have Vildoza and Juancho, Hernan Gomez, both 12 credits. Because we're playing fantasy, we have to see how many fantasy points they gave back. For example, last year, and they didn't have the best of the seasons, both of them, for different reasons. And they're not giving you these fantasy points compared to the 12 credits that you're gonna spend to have Luca Vildoza or Juancho Hernan Gomez to your team. So if you put this into consideration, then it's better not to choose one of them because they are expensive, and the bet is that you're gonna lose credits rather than gain credits at the beginning of the season.
And Vildoza, if you think Vildoza, the first couple of months in Cervena Zvezda, so 2 years ago, 12 credits is too cheap. If you think how he performed last year, 12 credits is extremely expensive. So as you said, you need to see what's his position, his role in Olympiacos team, and whether he's going to have a year similar to last or a year similar to the first months in Cervena Zvezda. And we're closing this category with Meli. For both of us, Meli has been one of most favorite players during the years. He's returning in a team that he was amazing. So why would we think 12.8 is expensive? Because of how stacked is the team, and because recently Meli is not really a fantasy player. We've seen him doing all the extra things on the court that they don't really give us fantasy points. So for that reason and only for that, we put him on this category. And finally, we have Lloyd. Lloyd, I think, is an amazing player, and if he has a great season, the 13.3 is quite cheap valuation. However, he's coming out from a very bad season. He had injuries during the year, but anyways, he didn't perform what we expect. So starting with 13.3, when you can get other guards that we talked about in the previous, in previous categories, it seems not logical to us.
To add to your point, Bill, and just to tell you about why, for example, Shields is not here, but Jordan Lloyd is here, is exactly to what Bill said. So both players, they can have injuries. However, the performance of last year is impacting our let's say thought, and we have
Our
Lloyd
ranking, yeah.
as and we have Lloyd as expensive. Yeah, so because injuries can happen, it's part of the game, unfortunately. However, the performance is an indicator that showed us that Jordan Lloyd is on this category on this list for now. But as Bill mentioned, if Jordan Lloyd starts performing, the 13.3 credits is cheap for the guard with his quality and caliber.
And finally, we have some star players that they were missing from here, and that's because they are injured. So these four, especially if we look at the top, these top two are top dogs. James and Larkin, there is nothing really to talk about. They're injured. That means you should not select them now because you're gonna lose credits. These players they're gonna be cheaper when they become healthy. Again, potentially you have a risk when you wanna get the player very fresh from an injury. Is he ready? Has he fully recovered? So all of these will drop significantly, while other star players will keep increasing their credits in the game. So this will be some amazing offers down the road. Also, we have the two Olympiacos players, Milutinov and Evans. Hopefully Evans, when he returns, he can come back strong as he did with Zalgiris. It's really a pity he's such an amazing player.
A second serious injury for Evans after the Achilles, which is very unfortunate. But he'll come back stronger because he did it once already, so he'll do it.
And not just that, he did it on an MVP level, if you remember.
Yeah.
We were discussing last year.
Yeah.
So that's what we think. You can let us know also in the comments or on X, and like and subscribe. And you can also watch our AlleyOopDunks team formation in the video that we will post here as well.